Yesterday we were covering how to read properties from property file, how to how to use secure properties, how to encrypt and decrypt the properties. Okay, so yesterday we have completed that part, but at the end of the class I was showing you like how we pass the properties in runtime manager. I will open the studio. Let me open that. Okay, so here I was deploying this application. It was taking too much time. So, but I will show you today. So yesterday, whatever we have deployed, right? We have created this small application, and I have told you like whatever we are giving a secure properties like HTTP port environment, we want to secure it when we deploy it on our Cloud Hub. If you go to settings of that application and if you go to properties, you will get that like this env whatever. It will be like this completely. Okay, so here I was giving as secure properties environment that was like a runtime property. So whatever properties will be there, because for I think HTTP port was not a secure property. It was just a uh, inside our property file, but whatever runtime properties will be there, like environment that we need at the runtime. So it will come like this star star star. Okay, if we don't give that, if we don't give this secure properties and environment, then it will be simply like this dev. Oh, sorry. It will be like this text view. It will be like 1 second. Let me go back. Settings, properties, and text view. If you see, it will be at the moment it's like that. But if we don't give that secure property in the artifact.json here and artifact.json, we are giving env. So what will happen? It will be simple a plain text like this table, and it will be environment equal to dev. But we want to hide it, like whatever property at the runtime we are giving, we want to hide it. We don't want to show it on runtime manager as a plain text. So we need to provide that property inside the secure properties. Okay, and also if we want to give, if we want to provide like our in our like whatever secure properties we are having, and if you want to represent that also on the Cloud Hub, like here we have http.port. That also we can give like secure colon properties in our artifact.json, like this one http secure colon http.port. Then this property also will be there as like it will be as a star star star, and we will show to the user that these are the secure properties that we are using. Okay, so this was about that. I have deployed the application here and it is running. We've after deploying, we got this API URL. And if I go back to our Postman, hello world status cloud hub IO and /test was the path. So if I hit this, I will get the response secure value 8081, because in the final transform message, the output we want to show that secure value HTTP in whatever port number was there. Okay, so that we want to show. So this was pretty simple. Like this was the complete understanding of how to use how to use secure properties in MuleSoft, or means how to secure our properties. Okay, so this was pretty simple. So, and artifact.json we used we used to mock the uh, uh, to mock those secure informations. Okay, so it will not be as a plain text, and for that we need to give like secure properties will be our uh, property over there, and inside that the values will be in array, and all the keys will be in the string. So like that we can give all the properties. Okay, so this is one. And now I will show you the YAML file. Okay, so yesterday, if we go back to the presentation. So I was talking about the YAML file. Currently, we have done whatever I have explained. It was only with the normal properties file, but now I will show you how we declare the YAML file and how we use it in our project. So for this, it's pretty simple. You need to understand how the YAML syntax is, how we define the YAML file. Okay, all those things. So what I will do here, first I will remove this. I will just edit whatever we have done so far. Go back to our demo properties. I will remove this two files and property will be same 8081. Okay, start delete. Now we have close this, close this. I will just show you the new YAML file. Okay, so now I will create a new YAML file. YAML files. You can create like file. Otherwise, you can just go with others. And I think there is, okay, it's not there. So just right click, new, and then file. And here dev.yaml, or you can say demo dev.yaml. Okay, so this is done. And here inside the dev.yaml, for example, we are using HTTP host and port, right? So if I go back to hello world and if I open the configurations, this one, and here we are using host like this, port. So how we will define it? So I will create a simple tag like this. Oh, sorry, HTTP. My keyboard's ENT is not properly working. So like this, first HTTP related properties. Okay, so for HTTP we are declaring the listener properties. So we can take like STENER listener. So inside the listener we have just give the tab. After enter, just give the tab. So it will automatically collect that. Okay, and one more thing, hold on. Then inside that, what was that? Port. No, host, I will give host also. And then port. So we are declaring a HTTP property. Okay, we are defining a demo -dev YAML file. Okay, and inside that we are defining all the properties that we want to declare. Okay, so like what we say, like HTTP inside that HTTP related to listener. If it is related to requester, then we can create another another property like this under the same reference, like under the same listener, like requester. So here we will give the requester properties, like to call any third party API and all. So we will define the requester, but here we are not using any requester. So I will just delete it and I will just define the host. So host is here, like you can give localhost or by default one that 0.0.0.0. So 4 times 0, and port we were using 8081. Okay, so here, oh, here if you will give like this, sorry, if you give like this, it will give you an error, because after property, after key, you need to give some space and then you can define the value. Okay, so that is the correct syntax of the YAML file to define a configuration. Okay, so you need to take care about these things, otherwise it's pretty simple. So we have defined host and port here. Now you, for example, you are defining a secure properties file. For example, you are defining what was the secure property there? Let me the secure secure key, I guess, right? The secure key you want to define, or you want to define a secure password that you encrypted in another file. So how we do that? Like for example, whatever secure properties are there, I will define it into a separate file. So just like file, and we can say secure. First we can take like environment, like demo dev hyphen secure dot YAML. So this file will have all secure properties uh, related to our dev environment, right? So what I will do here, I will create one more like HTTP and tab. No, not HTTP. Like we can say like secure password, something secure, and then PASSWRD like this, and then what we need to do. Yesterday I have explained you how we secure our properties, right? How we secured our properties, or sorry, how we encrypt our properties or decrypt our properties, right? So for that we have used the third party tool, the secure property something secure properties placeholder, correct? So we will go back there and we will read our secure property generator. So this is the link yesterday I provided into the chat. So here the key, and I have used the key. Okay, one moment. Value was 8081. Okay, so one moment. I will take the key. Yesterday we have used MuleSoft Station 1. So that was the key, and this was the value. Okay. So this is the one. We have to copy this, go back, and here we will define that property. Okay, we will define that property here. And yesterday I have explained you how we define that. So inside this will be the syntax. Inside this, we will paste that property, means that value that we like encrypted value. Okay, so this is done. Okay, so now what we have to do, like go back to your demo hyphen YAML. So here we have the port. So here instead of this port 8081, because it's a decrypted, means we have encrypted this value and it is secured. So now what we will do, delete this and we will read it like this dollar secure, and here it is secured. And now I think, I'm not sure. I think I will give it different name, secure property. Okay. And then I will just copy this secure property and go back and here secure property dot password, like this, simple. So it it will we are referring it, like we are referring the secure property from the uh, this demo dev secure.yaml inside demo dev YAML. Okay, so this is like a simple thing that we can do, like we can refer it. So we have two files now, demo YAML and demo dev secure YAML. Now we need to go back to our hello world and listener configuration. Here we are using the secure HTTP port. So here what we need to do, because we are adding the property in dev.yaml. So we simply will give like, we will remove the secure because we are already giving the security in the demo dev.yaml. So let me go back to show you what we will add here. So we define the property with http.listener.port. So like that, we need to add it, but I will show you again. Stopped. Wait one moment. Okay, so this here http.listener.port, and port is already secured. So we don't need to give again like secure dot the port number and all. Okay, because it's already secured. So what we will do, go back to listener in the port, we will just simply give http dot listener dot port. That's it. So it's done. Just close it and save it. So that's pretty simple. We have secured the property, also add it in our HTTP listener. Now secure properties config, because we need a key, right? We need this key, secure properties dot key. That also we need. Uh, and also here demo hyphen dat dot YAML we need to. Now secure property file is different now. Demo hyphen dev here hyphen secure dot YAML. The file is changed, and this file is like secure file, and there to encrypt or decrypt that file values, we need the secure key, and that we have used stock station one. So just we have done that those changes. Click OK. And inside the global property, we have that secure.properties.key rules of station one. So everything is fine. Everything is done. And one moment. And then what we'll do, global, this is done. And one moment, there is one more thing, because we have done security, but we need to, because we have defined this file, we have to read this file. We have defined the secure properties config and global properties for that, and secure properties config to read the secure file. But to read this file also, we need to create a configuration. Okay, so here what we will do, we will go to global configuration properties. Here we just give the file name. So that is demo dev dot YAML. Here also you can give like dollar $n dot YAML. That's it, simple. So it will read this file, and from this file it will, because there is a secure property, it will search based on secure tag. It will go into this file, and this file will get encrypt or decrypt based on our secure property key. That's a pretty simple thing. So here we define three, because I have used two properties file. Okay, just to show you how we refer. If we have separate secure properties file, then how we refer it in our normal property file. So that's why I have taken this example. Okay, so when you will learn about yesterday's lesson and today's lesson, you will be able to compare any scenario. Okay, so now go back here. We have defined this demo YAML, and secure properties is demo hyphen dev hyphen secure.yaml. Everything is done. Now, the thing is, security key is there, everything is there, all is done. Now we need to run this program. And here the port was 8081. Okay, so we will run this and we'll see if any issue if in the configuration or not. Just debug it. Okay, we are already running the instance, so just delete this. Okay, and now go back, arguments. Here we will give env, and this time, as somebody was asking, so I will do one thing. I will just remove this and go to environment here, environment, and just add name env, sorry, env, oh my god, env and dev. And let's see what happens. Apply, go back to meal debug. Sorry, general, hello world, everything is perfect. Just click on debug and let's see what happens. And we have the debug point. In the meantime, I will just create the postman at localhost 8081. I think we don't need this because we have that. So localhost test http localhost 081. Yes. So this is our request. Go back to the console and we'll see. Okay, I did not check the data view. We'll see it later. So this is the pretty simple. Okay. So one person was asking this, I think Santosh. So Santosh we are covering that part. So let's see, failed. We'll see why it's failed. So could not find the property secure property dot password. So what is the mistake? We will check this demo dev secure dot YAML. So secure property free or everything is fine. And then we have EASS. Oh, spelling mistake. So WROD. So WORD is the correct property. Just save it. And because we are doing the changes in the property file, so this will not it will not build automatically. Anypoint Studio will not build our application automatically. So we have to stop it. If you are doing the changes in the XML files, then it after saving it, it will automatically build. But if you are doing any changes in the property files or somewhere else, then it will not rebuild your application. So what you need to do, just terminate it and deploy it again. To just debug, everything is set, environment is here, and in general, this application we want to deploy. So let's see what happens. So go to console just to check the status. So it's initializing, then it will start. Deployed, sorry, it's deployed, and now we will hit. Everything is fine. That's why it's deployed successfully. So it means no issues so far. And now we'll see while running the application, we will check it's reading all the properties perfectly fine or not. Send the request. If you see, it's because HTTP port was the secure property and this value was 8081. If you see the secure property generator, 8081 was the value that we encrypted and we give into our studio, and it's working fine. It's allowing us on that port, and just go to Mule Debugger, just exit from the application. If you see, okay, secure is null because we have changed the property name now. We are reading it like this, but it's not like this now. So we will show you that also. Just terminate it. So before fixing this, I just want to say, because uh, Santosh Kumar was doing a practice on it. By Tone on based on yesterday's class. So he asked, can we provide the property here also, the environment property, because it's separate environment variables to set? Yes, because it's special to environment variables. But if you are, for example, if you're running on a command line so you can need to provide VM arguments like this, like earlier we were doing. Okay, so I generally use this, but yes, on local studio, we have separately tab for that environment variables to set. So whatever environment variables you want to set, you can set all those here. Just click on add After adding the name, like name we have give variable name is env, the value is dev. That's it, simple. So it will work. Okay, so now let me fix this one. So we need to read that secure property, right? So go to secure here, secure property dot password, and that how we are reading like this. So just copy this one, and inside the p function, we will give this. That's it. Done. And now save this data weave, go back and just debug it again. Debug, and let's see what this time, because of we were not reading the correct property, so it was giving us null. Okay, so we'll see. HTTP, actually HTTP dot port was not there, so that's why it was giving null. And this time we are giving the correct property. We are directly reading it. I think I have this something wrong. I'm giving directly this property, but it's fine. Like port value, we are giving directly like this. Also, we can give simply http.listener.port. Also, it will give you the same value, but it's fine if we are reading directly from secure property, like secure property.password. So once it deployed, then we'll hit it and we'll see if it's working. So this was all about YAML file. Okay, how we read, how we declare the YAML file, and how we read it from there. Let's see. Once it's deployed, we'll hit it again. It is starting. Sorry guys, it started. Now let's hit the from the postman, and it's coming perfectly fine. This come out, and if you see, secure value is 8081. Okay, so this is how we define properties into the a YAML file. Means how we declare the YAML files, or how we add the properties into the YAML file. So this is the syntax you need to take in care by about tabs. Don't use space in the YAML file. Recommended is use tab. Okay, and so also when you are creating a key, after that colon, here we don't use equals to, here we use colon. Okay, after colon, when you declare any property, if you are giving any value, then you have to give the space, otherwise it will give you an error. So, and also I have covered like how we read the secure property file properties in normal YAML file. So this is the same syntax, so it's working and it's done. Okay, so guys, this was all about how we read the property files. And now our next topic is for each loop. Okay, so sorry, I did not get a time to create the PPT for that. So let me directly jump into the demonstration. So I'll close everything from here. I'll create a new API that I will update on the GitHub repo. Okay, so from there you can download the code to to practice by your own in your local system. So I will create a separate new API. So in the meantime, I just close all the other projects. So close project. This uh, it is close project. Now create a complete new API. So this new project. So here, uh, demo like demo for each. This is not the correct practice, but just to show you, I'm just giving this simple demo for each API. API and just finish. And we'll show you. So before that, I just want to explain you what is exactly the for each. So for each used to perform some set of activities on the payload of a collection, and for each will expect collection as input payload, and for each will iterate over that collection. Okay, so main point is it it if it is a Java collection, okay, if it is a Java collection, then for each will split the payload by default. Okay, and any for each works sequentially, and there is another parallel for each that I will explain you after for each, that will work as parallel process, that will do parallel processing, and here in for each loop it will do the sequential processing. Okay, and whatever changes we are doing to the payload within iteration, it will not change anything. It will not change our input payload. Whatever in after for each loop, whatever payload was there earlier before for each, you will get it as it is after the for each. So it will not change. Only whatever changes we are doing in the iteration. So it is local. I will say it will be local to the for each loop. Okay, and it works sequentially. And if there is any error to process any iteration, then it will stop further records and will break the processing immediately. Okay, so for that, what you can do, you can use the error handling. You can use on error continue over there. And in on error continue, you can like whatever records, whatever iteration is getting failed, you can add those into a variable to showcase into the end, like these iteration got failed, or you can add those iterations into the any file. So you can handle it in your based on your requirement. Okay, and also whatever iterations we are getting, so their order will be maintained as it is. Okay, so I will show you all these steps. This is theoretically, this is all about for each loop. Okay, so now create a flow. I will create first, I will take a source listener, and inside the listener I will configure it, and just click on plus. Here 8081, I'll just set OK. Path, I will just give star, and that's done. It's configured. Now, before moving, just put a logger here. Okay, and here we can print the payload, because I want to show you what payload was before the for each and after the for each. So you can just simply click on expression mode and say payload. Okay, if you don't click on expression and you just give the payload, then it will understand it just like a simple string, because this is a literal mode. If you don't click on this, if you click on fx, this is a expression mode. If you uncheck that, it means it's a literal mode, and whatever you are providing inside this, it will act as like a string. So what you need to do, just give a syntax like hash and then payload. So this is the expression like this. You can, if you don't want to click on the expression mode, then you have to add it like this. So this is like a thing that you need to understand. Okay, so now I will take a for each component, that is a core component, and just if you see core for each, this is a core component, just drag and drop inside your flow. So for each, and now one moment, I want to explain something here to you. One moment. Mhm. And also we need to create a collection. I will create a collection, like I will create some objects to show you. But I want to explain something here. Let me open my diary I have noted down something for you guys. One moment. So for each, generally interviewer asks how for each works. It works sequentially or parallelly. So you need to answer like it's sequentially. But if you want, like, if you want, if you want to, uh, if you want processing parallelly, then what you need to do? So then for each is the option that you have to use. Okay. So one moment. Yeah. So here, I didn't get that. Okay, no issues. So this is the for each component. Like for each, we have drag and drop. It is a core component that we inside the mule palette. So it is coming by default. We don't need to download it from Exchange. So it's by default. So if you click on that, you will see it is saying for each scope is similar to for each or for loop in most programming languages. So if interviewer asks you how we do for looping in Mule, then you can answer like we use for each scope for that. Okay. So whatever connector you are using, whatever you are drag and drop from Mule palette, just hover on it and it will explain you about that. Okay. So it's pretty simple to, like, sometimes if you don't understand, so you just hover on it and you will come to know what exactly it is. So here, if inside for each the configuration site like collection, so it should means collection means input payload, which should be a type of collection. So whatever input payload for each, that will be here and it should be a type of collection. Okay, so the collection means is whatever input payload it's coming to the for each that we need to mention here. Okay, and counter variable, counter which hold the value for the current loop. So counter is, we are just giving the variable name counter. I'm not changing it. It will be as it is. So, but meaning of counter variable name is counter which will hold the value of the current loop. And batch size. So batch size means we can break the payload into our desired size, like whatever our requirement, like we want 1 to 1 or we want batch size, like we want to, like we have a array of objects. So we want to process 1 by 1 or we want one time two and then next to, then we can change its value according to our requirement. So I will not changing it. I will break the desired payload in size 1. Okay, so root message. Root message, when you are iterating over your payload, so you are breaking it. You are breaking it and then you are doing iterations. But root message, this is the variable, root message is the variable where you will have your actual complete payload. So you can access it inside the for each also, like root message, where's dot root message dot payload. So it will show you the complete payload. So this is the beauty of the for each loop. Okay, and these all are the configurations. So now let's do one thing. This is in MCD level, when exam, they definitely ask the question on for each. What they will do, they will like give you the snippet like this logger, or they can set some payload over here and then they will ask like what like I think the some common question are like they do the file operation here. Okay, and they will ask they will give you the complete configuration XML file, a snippet, and they will then they will ask you what will be the output. Okay, so based on that, you need to read complete configuration file. You need to understand what is the payload before for each, how it will be after for each, what will be happening inside the for each. So keep every concept in mind and then answer. So it will be 100% correct. Okay, so now let me show you one thing. We will create a, here we will create a object. Let me open the JSON lint. That is easy to create any JSON. So JSON lint. So here to show you, I will create a simple JSON that we means a collection. We will prepare a collection, JSON collection that will be as a input payload for each for each. Okay, so just create a collection like employ employee data, or instead of that we can say for example bank account, just simple bank account, and then inside that we have multiple arrays like name is mule, and then it's id, sorry, id. There we can give like 2 3, or it's going to be number 1 2 3, and then uh, email test@gmail.com. Name id means id is like account number. Okay, so these 3 fields we will give. It will be enough to show you an example. And in the same way, we'll just copy this and we'll define one more and one more. Okay, and then we'll close it. That's so simple. It's a valid JSON, but we need to change these values. So 1 2 3 4 4 5 6 years 7 8 9, and test 2, test 3, test 1, and mule 2, mule 3, and mule 1. So this is the JSON that we will use. So just copy this, and now instead we will pass it from the payload. Here I will copy this. So this is our collection that we will pass. Okay, so and in our logger, we are printing that input payload, and I will put a debug point here, and inside that I'll put a logger just to show you how it is iterating. Okay, so we have payload.bank account. So here we can just simply take payload dot, because it should be a collection. So collection is bank account have a collection of different users, so that we simply giving it's an input payload, because input payload should be a collection. So that's why we need to sorry, where I am mentioning it, it's wrong. I need to open for each. So for each collection should be payload dot bank account. So this is this one. So this collection we need to pass to for each. Okay, it's a single C, double C. I will change here also. C. Okay, so this is the collection that we want to pass to for each. Okay, now inside the logger, you can print something like inside for each, what will be the payload? One by one, it will be there. So when you put hash, it will automatically show you this. So inside for each, payload is this. That's it. And now after that, transform message, we'll just put a payload, and I will show you what exactly the payload comes out after the for each. So here, payload. Save it, and we'll run this application, and I will show you how it's entering, how it's iterating, and what is coming out from our application. So one by one, I will show you all the iterations. Okay, so let's go to debug configuration. We have demo for each API that we want to run. So click on this. Nothing we need to set, no arguments and all. So just apply and debug, and put the debug points, and we'll see what will the payload. So just put debug point to show you one each component one by one. Just go to console to check the progress. Okay, you need to open Mule debug perspective. Okay, it will start. Once it's deployed, we'll hit the API. So it's deployed, and now we'll hit the API. One moment. So we'll hit the API and just click. It will enter, and now we will in Mule Debugger will show you the payload. So payload is our whatever we are sending. Now move next. So here it's entering still is the same payload, but now inside the for each, it will be payload.bank account. So just click on next. If you see here, payload.bank account, but it is iterating one by one because our the batch size is 1. So what is happening here? Payload.bank account first object will be there inside for each block. So if you see here on the payload, you see mule1, ID 123, email test1. That was our first payload. So it is breaking it and working sequentially. It is splitting the payload and processing it sequentially. Okay, so this is the how for each breaks the payload and how it process. So it is processing it sequentially. It is it breaking first one by one, and then it will process. So here you can do any process like if you want to do something in some addition in the each iteration, then you can apply that operation using the transform message and then like that. I will show you that, but let's move to the next one. So it will not come out after this logger. It will go back and it will take the another, it will do another iteration because batch size is 1 and inside our payload.background we have 3 objects. Okay, so it will iterate 3 times and then it will come out finally. So let's click on F6 again. If you see second time, so second time it came mule 2 4 5 6 test 2. Now code third time, so third time payload change mule 3 7 8 9 test 3. Now click next, so it came out. And now here see the payloads. Payload is the same that it initially it was earlier before the for each. So that's the thing. So it iterated the payload, it split the payload and done its processes and then came out. So now go back and then the complete payload you will get. Now I will show you one more thing here. Just click on next. Inside I was talking about these two variables, counter variable and root message variable name. So go to debug, go to x plus y and then see where's dot root, root message here. Sorry, sorry, payload, payload. So if you see, it is giving you the complete payload even inside the for each. For each is doing the iteration one by one, but payload where's.root message.payload is giving you your complete initial payload. Okay, so this is the thing how root message variable works. In the same way, if you go to where's, there is counter. So where's.counter, where's.counter. If you evaluate this, is first counter. If you go to next, see the value of where's root message. Inside root message, you have the payload. Okay, that you can access. And now inside the counter, the first counter is there. So value is 1. Now next counter counter is 2 because second iteration. Now next counter is 3. So if you want to do some addition, like if you want to count something and based on counter, you want to do some transformation. So using this counter variable, you can do all those transformations. So just go next and came out. So this done. Now I will show you some operation inside this for each block. I'm taking the transformer to do some transformations. So what I will do, I will just add a field and I will add like 1 2 3. I will multiply 1 2 3, or I will multiply 1 2 3 into 10 or 20, or I will add something into the name. Okay, so just go to this and I create a value like change name. So here what we need to do, payload dot name plus plus change, give space. Okay, so payload dot name is done. Okay, so that, and after this just put a logger. Simple. That's it. And now we will save it and we'll run it. It will build it again, and then I will show you what happens. Put a debug point.
Anurag, sorry to interrupt you. In the logger, we need to add payload, right?
No, why payload? I will show you that during by mule debugger. You can add whatever you want in the debugger message. Like here we were doing inside for each, that I will show you. I forgot to show you this, but inside logger you can log anything. It depends on your requirement actually, because every time we don't log the payload.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Anurag.
So once it's deployed, it started, and let's hit it again and go inside the mule for each. And now I will show you this logger. Just clear the console. In first logger printed payload, it's printed here, the complete payload. Clear the console. Now it will print this logger. Inside for each payload is what will be the payload that I have already shown you using mule debugger, but what it will print. So if you see first iteration, that is the payload actually. So it is inside for each payload is this. It is printing that. Okay. So now we are doing some operation using the transform message. Just click on next and we'll see the. If you see here, go to mule debugger, and if you see change. Okay, I give change instead of change name, I give changes name. So changes name mule1 change. So it is doing that operation, and that is your payload now inside the for each. But now again, next processor, it is inside only for each because three iterations are there, three objects are there. So now go next and next payload, this one, and now next third payload is after third payload it will come out. But here payload is changed because we are just, it will be initial payload after for each. So what we will get, whatever payload we are setting here inside this transformation, that we will get out. So that's done. Now the thing is, I want to save this, whatever I'm doing the process, I want to copy, I want that payload outside. So what you need to do for that, a simple process, just create a variable, just set a variable before your for each and just give a name like any name, like I'm giving the test variable, so test, and then here you can give its value like it will be empty, sorry, it will be empty array. Okay, so whatever we will iterate, we will save it inside this array. So now what you need to do, now set one more variable here and then test, same variable name you need to give, and then here we will give like sorry load. Okay, and let's see, first I will show you something here. So we are just setting a empty payload first, And after empty payload, we want to add whatever we are doing. We want to add it parallelly inside the our inside our for each block. And after that, what we will do, just we will access that variable here. So that where's dot test. Okay, so like this we will do. So whenever you want to access, whatever processing happening inside and you want to access it, that you can simply add it like this. Okay. So let me show you, just save it. But before that, because here I gave just a payload. So let's see what will happen. Because I'll show you that. So guys, this part is very important. Please focus. Okay. Okay, I want to show you how we can access this whatever happening inside the for each, how we can access it outside. Because at the moment, whatever we were doing inside for each, it was not coming out. We were getting the payload that was initially before the for each, but whatever we will do inside for each, that we need outside the for each block. So I am setting a variable, and inside that I'm setting I'm setting an empty variable. Like I'm setting a variable with the empty array value. Okay. And then inside for each, I'm overriding the same variable. I'm setting the same variable test. And inside that, oh, sorry. Sorry. I need to check this. Okay. I'm just setting a payload. Okay. So I want to show you something like if I will just add the payload, what will happen? And after that, I will show you one more thing. So you will be easily understand how we will add each iteration inside the array, how we will concatenate each iteration. Okay. So sorry, I did not click on expression mode. It will rebuild. It will rebuild the application. Okay, it's not doing. So let's start, I think. Okay, so just go next. If you see the set variable test, go here. Test is empty array. Now inside the for each, we have first payload this. Now go to transform message. After transform message, we have that. And logger, it will print like simply all the metadata. Just clear the console and just go next. So now we will see what is happening in the where's test. The test inside test, it's added. Earlier it was empty, but now it is adding the value, some value, whatever we are iterating, it's added into that. So now go next iteration and we'll see it will add the next iteration or not. So test, then again see the test. So here it's adding, but it is deleting the first iteration. Because why it's happening? Because in set variable we are just giving the payload. But if you want to add each iteration, then what you need to do, then simply go here and give where's dot test plus plus payload. Simple. And save it. I will show it again. To add each iteration, where's dot test, that is the variable, and then plus plus payload. It means inside the empty variable, it will add all your objects, and then it will set the final test variable out inside the for each, and that you can access. Okay, so this is the one, and this was most important part to show you. So let's hit the API again. So it's pretty simple. Just set an empty variable and add all the iterations into that. Okay, so go next, 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 next. Okay, something is wrong. We call the function plus plus. Oh, okay, it is taking it as a string. So just click on save. We'll rebuild the application. Okay, it's started, but just it did not came out. Started will just came out like this. So it started, and now I want to show you, because earlier we were just setting the empty array, but we just gave literal mode. We gave the empty array in a literal mode. That's why it was saying we cannot, like with the string we cannot add the object. That's why we were getting the error. But we fixed it in this set variable. We added. We clicked on expression mode, and then we are setting empty array. And now click it again. Happening. Okay, it's stuck. We need to deploy again. So this sometimes Anypoint Studio give this problem, but don't worry. See, once it deployed, then we'll see what happens. So whatever error I'm showing you, that is, there is a reason for that. Like if you face these issues, so you will know that how we need to resolve. Okay. And sometimes, like I have done this mistake in set variable. I was setting the empty array, but I did not click on this literal mode. Or even if means I have given it in literal mode, I did not click on the expression mode. If you are giving in literal mode, then you have to use hash, and inside hash means using hash you need to provide. So it's deployed successfully. Click on send. It's here now, and go to next inside for each. It will process, and then next, and let's see. Okay, what's the problem? Variable, I'll just change it like this. So where's to test plus payload, unable to call plus plus with the arguments region array but code change name. The problem. One change as object, but it expects array. Okay, not a problem. Go to set variables. Here, I think I just missed something. So here we are just setting the same variable, and inside that we just adding whatever payload is we have. So it will be simple only. Let's see. I'll just save it and just come out. Just hit it again, and before reaching to there, I will just try something. Next. Here, I will just check pass to test by 0. Okay, yes, of course. Plus plus, because we did not add anything as payload. Okay, so because it should be an array. We're adding an anchor array. See what happened. What mistake I'm doing? Okay, no issues. It would be JSON slash JSON. One moment, guys. I missed something. Debugger, go to X plus Y. This. Okay, it's now. Okay, so it is giving like this. So because because where.test is an empty one, empty array, and array we need to add like this array. We cannot simply like an object. If we give this like this, it will give you an array. Like you call the function plus plus with these arguments array and object, but it expects an array. Okay, so that's why it was giving a problem. So let's me just add this and copy this, Control X, and then go back to set variable. Just paste it here. So like this, you can fix your issue in the X plus Y inside the mule debugger. So we fixed it, and now our function is working. So just save it and we'll see. It will just redeploy and we'll see what happens. Okay, so it started. Now I will hit the application again. And then just click on F6. So if you see the payload is next payload, but our variable test have that information. Now go to next. The next and now see the test variable, it have both objects, whatever transformed one. Based on each iteration, we are doing a transformation in the transform message, and then we are adding each iteration into an empty array in this one. And then every time it is adding each iteration into that. So now third one, it came out. So in test variable, we have all those iterations, and now inside transform message, I'm just reading test variable. So what happened? Cannot process event as chain is stop. Wait, stop. Okay, no issues. We'll run it again. And there's hit. Just go to it's happening. And okay, no problem. I need to start it again. Sorry, guys. So outside this, we are just setting this test variable here, and that we want to read it outside the for each. So I want to show you how we do that. And after this, I will show you if any error occurs in the for each, how you will handle that. So like we are getting errors, but we are not handling it. We are just it's blocking our flow. But I don't want to block. I want to move further even after the any issue. So just send it again, and then just click on next. First iteration, second iteration, third iteration, and it should come out. Okay, I don't know. It was some thing, but here in X plus Y, I will just say where's dot test. See, it's giving everything. And now just click on next. So if you see, you are getting that payload. Okay, so this is the simple process. You are iterating the payload, and then after iteration, you are adding it all the iterations, and then you are getting it outside the for each scope. So you are using a variable, set variable. Okay, so that is pretty simple. Now I want to show you if we get any error. For example, we were getting an error here. So I've just changed it again, payload like this. So it will give an error. Okay, I want to handle it. So first, how we will do that? So I don't want to stop the flow once any iteration failed. I want to continue with the next iteration. So on error continue I will use here. Sorry, I need to put like I will use try catch, but I will use the try catch and I will use what we say inside for each I will use the try catch and then I will use the on error continue. So first I will use this try catch here and everything I will put inside the try catch. So whenever error comes, it will go to our error handling. That's it. Or you can put a logger after this here. That's it. And inside error handling, I'll use error continue. On error continue. Simple. Inside this, I can use the transform message. Okay. I just use the transform message and here I'll just use to show you what is the payload here. Okay. And how you can catch this payload also. And then logger. Simple logger. And just save it. Now click on add. And now what will happen when, because we know set variable we are just simply adding payload. We are not covering it inside the square bracket. So definitely it will give an error as we have seen it earlier. So now after error, I don't want to stop the flow. I don't want to break the chain. It will go to on error continue there. I will handle it. I will handle it or I will do some process over there also. And then after the processing, it should come out. So we'll show you that. So once it's deployed, application will start. I will hit the request again, and then we'll see what happens. So here what is happening, because the collection is an object. So that's why when we are adding the inside the variable, it should be an array type. So that's why we were covering, because inside an array we need to concatenate or to add something into an array, it should be an array. So that's why we are covering it into the square bracket. But if it is a simple, like for example, a collection of strings, then you can simple add it like where's.test plus payload. Okay, but here how we are dealing with a collection of objects. We are not dealing with the collection of some strings or integers. We are dealing with the collection of objects. So that's why we need to wrap up into the square bracket, because test is an empty array, and to add something into an array, it should be an array. Okay, so that's why it was giving an issue. So now hit the application. I think it started. Hit the application. It will go here. Click on F6 and then we'll see what happens. Error came. Now it go to on error continue. And here the payload. We'll see the payload. Just minimize it. Make it little big. And here payload is this. Change, mule change, because we are setting it here, but error occurred. Okay, so error occurred and it came here. So there you can do two things. So here error dot description, can check error dot description. I think this I have already covered. I just want to repeat. I want to show you again how we were handling all these things. Okay, I think it was in the like this. So error dot description, error dot detail description, error dot error type, like that. You can get it anything. Okay, so here error dot error message. Okay, here we don't have that at the moment. We'll just check it here. So inside error dot description is there, error dot detail description, error dot error type, error dot errors, error dot exception, error dot exception dot cause is there. So in cause we have detail message, Like this, we have everything. So like that you can access, but here I'm just printing this payload. So we'll see what will happen. So here payload error is still there. So here we will get the same thing because inside this we are just taking this payload and we handled it. And now go to next, it will come out and then it will go back for the next iteration and same thing will happen. So we are iterating each, we are not blocking. Earlier, if we were not using on error continue, it after getting an error, it was not processing, it was not going for the next station, but this time it is going for the next station. So this is like we are handling it using try catch and on error continue. So now just come out and you will get your empty payload because here the set variable we are using variables test, and in that we have empty because this set variable give us error and this set variable value was still there. So in this we just got that vars.test. That's a simple one. But now this is the vars.test. Like this was because we did not get that the modified payload. So I will show you one more thing quickly. I will just first stop this. I will change the final payload. And inside that, I will just create something here, modified or like transformed payload. And its value is vars.test. Okay. So here vars.test. And now this is the modified one. Sorry. Okay. So this is the modified one. And now here, what we need to do, create a second one more like failed message or something. And that here I will set another variable where's dot failed test. Sorry, test. Okay. So I will show you this. So here like this, we were setting a set variable like test. I will just change its name, set variable test. Okay. Change its name. I will set one more variable, set variable after this. Here its name is set variable. Okay, its name is field test, and its value also empty array. Okay, now I will set one variable inside this, and here I will just set the same field test and just go back here with this inside. Or here you can say instead of setting something, I will just give a literal. Where's there is empty array, so I will just give where's dot failed test. Failed test. This is only right. A small t. Failed test. Test plus payload will be like the issue is here. We will get the payload that we are getting exactly. So whatever payload, whatever iterations will fail, it will just after this transformation, whatever transformed after the transformation, it will add it in this. So we will get which transform, which after transformation, which one is failed. Okay, so this is the pretty simple one. And here we set it for success, failure, and in transform message, we are just showing you both. Okay, so just save it and debug it again. So like this, we are handling everything here on on-error continue. You can do any operation, like you can send your data into file, or like you can like I am doing, I'm adding it as it is, and then I'm adding it into transform message. So here in transform message, I'm getting a JSON, and after that JSON, you can split the JSON, and after that also for whatever comes into the failed message, you can send it into a file or whatever operation you can do, or you can send an email using email connector, and then you can send like team, these are the failures and look into that. This is a simple one. Okay, so like this, so it's deployed, hit the application again. Go to next. I'm just using my keyboard this time. Instead of clicking on this shortcut, I'm using F6. F6 I'm using on Windows. F6. I am not sure what will be on Mac or other iOS, I mean other operating systems. So go next, 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 failed. Then go to honor, continue, then set variable. Okay, this time it's again. Where's not failed test? What's happening? I failed the failed test size 0. So unable to infer a output media. Oh, sorry. So we did not set the media. So output media. So we need to set this. This is also a, like you need to keep in mind always. Otherwise you will get an error. So like this, we set it and save it again. And this time everything will be fine. Okay, so whatever our errors we are getting, we are resolving it. You guys will also face the same errors because of some, like I'm doing a silly mistakes. So like that, you guys also can do, and we are covering all those things. Okay, so whenever you face that, you just watch the video and you can fix it. It's a pretty easy for you now. Okay, it started. I just started. We will just okay. Just drag and drop here. We just come out from the flow. We'll hit it again. What happening? Okay, just stop it. Sometimes Anypoint Studio behaves weirdly because we are getting error 2 or 3 times. So debug mode will not work. So we have to start it again. But no issues. We'll do that. It's starting. It's running. We'll see. Hmm. Okay, it's initializing and it will start. So guys, after this, we'll wrap up because we covered everything about the for each. Okay, so it's deployed. Just click on it and just press F6. It will go inside and it's set variable. It will error out, and then we are settings and set variable. If you see failure, fail test, it added this and go back. Sorry. So now second iteration, it added into the failure message, and then third iteration, now it's came out and the final output. So final output transform payload, nothing because everything is failed. Okay, and in failed message, whatever iterations got failed, it will add into the failed message. So like this, you can check what iterations failed, what iteration got passed. So this is simple. Okay, so this was all about for each. tomorrow we will cover parallel for each. So this was, this for each was working sequentially one by one, and we'll see how for each parallel for each works. So for each we use for each core component, and then for parallel we have to use parallel for each, this one. So this we will cover tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.